Okay, here we go. And get time for the stream to boot up and everything. And there we go. Oops. Wrong one. So yeah, I just recently discovered a way to track the lineages of each haplogroup, and this is really amazing stuff. So I've looked at a few Y chromosomes and also the MtDNA, the mitochondrial. So today we're going to get into the mitochondrial DNA, which is very interesting considering what we saw last time. I had a video on the lineages. So let's get right into it without too much trouble. And we'll begin. Okay, so we were looking at the Y chromosome of the Q haplogroup, the paternal side lineage of the Medes, and how they went to America and what route they took to America. Now I'm going to follow the A maternal side, maternal lineage, which accompanies the Medes where they went. And I'm going to have another interesting discovery as well besides this. So already what do we have here? Here's the beginning. It starts 20,000 years ago, supposedly. And you have the A haplogroup here in Asia. And all of a sudden, the A haplogroup is already in the New World. So how did that happen? Well, there's no real indication of how that happened, but which is in and of itself really telling. So I guess this is good. We'll just go ahead and run through it a little bit. And we'll just move along through the history. There it is, moving out in Asia. This is the A maternal lineage. And it's moving. Oh, what was that? What was that? All of a sudden we have a link just fell down out of the sky. And boom, they're in America. How did that happen? And of course, you have to remember that the mitochondrial DNA doesn't change as much as the Y chromosome changes because, of course, the mitochondrial DNA is much smaller. So any changes are they're less and they'll be notable. So here we have what we saw the last video, virtually the exact same thing of the A that accompanied the Medes into the New World. Right in the same place, of course, right smack dab in the middle of Central America. So, moving right along, see what happens here. Okay, spreads out some more. South America. Oh, what's that? Oh, then we have, let me see what we got. We got an A. Apparently, it looks like an A follows the lineage through the Bering Strait. And of course, this is already after there was a large population in Central America. And somehow that lineage joined the Central American lineage. It doesn't look like there's any trail going through the Bering Strait. It just all of a sudden appears in Central America just like the other one fell from the sky. So, it's really not very convincing that these haplogroups, this is the maternal haplogroup, would just fall from the sky that accompanies the bees. Okay, spreading out some more. There we go. Oh, one came back. Now one came back from Central America, came back to Europe. Isn't that interesting? Of course, we know there was trade in the days of King Solomon that probably had some lineages coming back from the New World. Now, but there's really not too much. Oh, there's another one. Another one came back from Central America, spreading out some more. Spreading out some more. Now, this is the same pattern as the Q haplogroup, of course, because the A, if you remember, accompanies the Q, which is the descendants of Madai, who asked to marry one of the daughters of Shem. So this would be the Semitic mitochondrial DNA that accompanies the Medes wherever they went. In Europe, it's the X and the W, and in here is this case, it's clearly the A lineage, which when they started naming the mitochondrial lineages in South America or Americas, they just started with A, B, C, and D in alphabetical order. Except the A and the B are both Semitic, and the C and the D are descendants of the daughters of Japheth. So there's no correlation between the A and the B and the C and the D, and even the A and the B are two different lineages, two different Semitic lineages, which I believe I've covered before. So now it's really spreading out into Europe. And now we have much more back and forth, or this way and that way. So this might be in recent times already, or at least more recent times. But we have the same kind of pattern there. So that corroborates the Q paternal haplogroup lineage that basically did the same thing, only it went off the coast of North Africa. So let's go look for the B lineage. Because this is the A lineage, we'll go for the B lineage, see what happens. Oops, wait a minute. Look at this. Oh, there's no B lineage. They don't have any B lineage, because the B lineage, if you remember, is the lineage of a Semitic tribe, or an Israelite tribe, actually, that came down through this area here around India and through South Asia, and they were headed for the Philippines or the land of gold or whatever. But the Y chromosome never made it, because there's no trace of any Y chromosome in through here that's Judaic or Israelite or anything like that. There's no trace of it. But the B lineage goes down through here, all the way through the Philippines, all the way through the Pacific, and from the Pacific all the way to the New World. So how did that happen? That's that, and then of course in this area of South America is where you have some Indian tribes with larger noses. Of course, in America, North America, you have Indians with larger noses as well, which is another puzzle. If they're all Eurasian or of the Medes, then where did these different features come from in both the North American Indians and these South American Indians with the larger noses? So I think the B kind of explains that, at least in South America. In North America, I believe there was another migration to the Great Lakes region that was Phoenician and or / Semitic as well. Of course, Phoenicians weren't entirely Semitic, but there were Semitic lineages in the Phoenician population that controlled all the Mediterranean, went all the way to the New World. So the B lineage is not here. It's not registering here. There's no B lineage, so we can't follow that. So let's try the C lineage. Let's go ahead and try the C lineage here. This is the mitochondrial C lineage, and we have a lineage here. We'll wait for it to load. See what happens. With a C lineage from the daughters, one of the daughters of Japheth. So that'd be a Eurasian maternal lineage of the mother's side. And of course, the C and the D come from this area of Eurasia, of course, and of course, would be Asia back in the ancient times, would be exactly where the Medes were. That would be Asia. That would be Asian. So here we have the C lineage, not the Nimrod paternal lineage, but the C maternal mitochondrial lineage from the daughters, one of the daughters of Japheth. So let's go ahead and hit this thing here. And we get all the lineage pop up, and it looks strikingly familiar, doesn't it? So we'll start from the beginning, and what do you know? The same thing. We have the same problem. We have the C in the old world, and magically the C popped up in the new world. So my new belief is that not only the A maternal lineage accompanied the Medes, but the C Asiatic lineage, mitochondrial lineage, accompanied the Medes when they went into the New World. Of course, starting from 2,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago, probably, maybe 4,000 years ago. So we start, and bang, all of a sudden, bang, we have the same exact sort of dispersion from Central America. Keeping in mind, of course, that the mitochondrial lineage doesn't change nearly as much as the Y chromosome does. So there's less changes between one place and another, which is the reason for the sporadic jumping and apparently falling from the sky. So there's another C lineage that has the exact same pattern as the Q paternal haplogroup and the A maternal haplogroup. Now the C has the exact same pattern, indicating that the C lineage also accompanied the Medes from the coast of North Africa to the New World in Central America, as we see. So it's the exact same pattern. We have the exact same and then all of a sudden, that looks like one left Central America, one of the C's left Central America and returned to Asia, just like that. And the reason for the jumping, of course, is because the mitochondrial DNA doesn't change nearly as fast as the Y chromosome. That's why there's jumping all over the place. And then we have more. We have more falling from the sky. Another one fell from the sky and landed in North America from Asia, the blue one. You can see the blue one. Yeah, I can take my finger off. This blue one here came from over here, fell from the sky and landed right there. Isn't that interesting? the travel to the Great Lakes region. So there's one indication right there. There was travel through the Mediterranean to the Great Lakes region by way of the mitochondrial DNA. Okay, so, and this is the Eurasian lineage, or lineages, plural. There's another one. I guess it went back to Asia. They just pop up from the sky. Now it's probably, now we're getting into more recent times. So we're going to see all kinds of stuff. Well, I guess not too much, but because it is an Asian or Eurasian, but Asian mitochondrial lineage, because the Eurasian maternal lineages are mostly in East Asia. So in recent times, we can clearly see that there's not a whole lot of travel from the East. The only time there was travel from the East was in ancient times with the Medes, who had in their population the Eurasian haplogroup. But after that, in more recent times, there's not a whole lot of travel between the East and the Americas, because they're Asian, basically. They're just so far removed, and there's not as much travel. But in ancient time, when the Medes were moving through Europe and the Mediterranean, that's when the maternal lineage from East Asia came to America. Now let's go ahead and check the D. Let's do the same thing with the D haplogroup, see what happens. This is really shocking stuff. This is amazing stuff to me. This is news to me. We go ahead and, oh, there's a D. Yeah, we have a D lineage. Here we go. This is really amazing stuff to me, because I had just assumed that they were right, even though they're still trying to figure out how in the world they crossed through the ice and snow through the Bering Strait. I was still, said, well, apparently they did. Apparently they did cross the Bering Strait and went to America, but that's not what the DNA evidence is clearly showing here. Now, this is the third time that we have a haplogroup going from the Old World to Central America. This is the third confirmation as to how the people arrived in America. Now, this is news to me. I never heard this ever before in my life. Okay, now we have the D. We'll click here, and we have the D. Up, and it looks strikingly similar. Oh, this is going to make the fourth confirmation of the Medes arriving in South America, Central America, as a matter of fact, early on. And that's why Native Americans don't exactly look Asian, because they weren't exactly, they were Asian, but from the East, but not entirely. Okay, here we have the exact same thing falling from the sky. We have the D haplogroup, which is landing in the exact same area as the other three. Now we have four confirmations of a haplogroup lineage going from the Old World to the New World to Central America. Well, this is in the mountains, but still, it's there. Like I said, they hop around. The maternal lineage hops around a little bit more than the other ones, and we have this exact same pattern. We have the exact same spread from Central America as before, as the other three. Now, this is the fourth confirmation of the haplogroups not going through the Bering Strait. Not going through the Bering Strait. This is the fourth DNA confirmation, DNA evidence that they landed in Central America and spread out from there. Now it's the Q haplogroup, the A maternal haplogroup, the C maternal haplogroup, and now the D maternal haplogroup, which is also Eurasian or Asian, East Asian, in America. This is the fourth confirmation as to the route that the Medes took to get to America. And then now, I guess, what is this? This is, now we have one of them crossing the Bering Strait. Well, at least that's what they say. I guess it's a lineage. It looks like a lineage that hopped through the Bering Strait. Either that way or the other way. Maybe it went accompanied another trip from the Medes. I don't know. But maybe it went through the Bering Strait as well. That's a possibility too. So now we have one lineage crossing the Bering Strait, if that. I mean, if it didn't go the other way. Oh, now we have another crossing. How is this? Look at this. From the coast of Africa, now we have another crossing. Looks like straight up the Amazon River. Well, which I always wondered if the Amazon River wasn't a highway to get to those civilizations, to those the people in America. Because I was always wondering if the Amazon River wasn't a route to take, but it looks like they're confirming a route through the Amazon River. Okay, spread it out some more. Another arrival through the Bering Strait. And now we're in modern times. So that is 4 confirmations of the route of the Medes going to America with a maternal haplogroup, the C maternal. The B one, the B. I have to see if I can find a B lineage from somewhere else, because the B is not on here. But the C and the D are both Eurasian, and they follow the same exact route, have this exact same spread in America as everything else, as the other ones, which is really, really impressive to me. And this is a revelation to me. I just never saw this before. Wrong one. So there you have it. Let's see what we got. David. We got David, USA. There we go. My MtDNA is D4. There you go. There you go. That's the D4. That's the same mitochondrial lineage that went to America. I mean, not that specific lineage, but the D haplogroup is one of the haplogroups that went to America, the maternal lineage. Okay, Korea, Japan, China, Kyrgyz, Tashkurgan, Tibet, Barut, Inner Mongolia, Barut. Wow, that's amazing. Yep, this is all, of course, East Asia, basically. Because usually you'll find the Asiatic maternal lineage is east of India. And west of India, you'll see more of the Semitic mitochondrial lineages. Okay, Japan, Israel, Palestinian. Oh, they got a D in Israel. That's interesting. That's very interesting. You have a D lineage in the Israeli population, which is to be expected because of the Phoenicians. Japan, that just confirms the Mediterranean travel to America. Russia, Germany, England. Okay. So we have, well, of course, there is some, but 95% of Western Europeans have a Semitic mitochondrial DNA, and the small percentage, 1 or 2% or 3%, is Eurasian, like this in England and Germany. That makes up about 2 or 3% of the Western European population that has an Asiatic or an East Asian mitochondrial DNA. See, what do you think D4, D4I, 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 Japan, Palestine? Yeah, I just was talking about that. That's in Japan. Uyghur is very interesting because Uyghurs are Judaic. They are Judaic, and that could be the source of the D as well. The Uyghurs, because this is along the Silk Road. So these were Jewish, they're J2 merchants. They have the largest Y haplogroup that the Uyghurs have is Judaic, J2. It's not J1, not I1, not I2, not anything else. It's not even any other Semitic. It's not H, it's not G, it's not anything else. It's J2, which is Judaic. So these were Judaic merchants traveling along the Silk Road. And that could be the source of this D4I that you're talking about. That's a very, very good observation right there. Because the Uyghurs are Judaic. And so the trade between basically China or the land of Sinim and Israel is apparent right there in that, if that's how they got which is, it's in Japan, then it's, it's in the Uyghur population and Israeli population. It's a telltale sign as far as I'm concerned. Because DNA doesn't lie. DNA is the absolute truth. As much absolute truth as we can get in science. Okay, haplogroup D. The Y DNA. Okay. Okay, C. Y DNA, D2. Oh, the D. Oh, if you're talking about the Y DNA, the Y DNA is Sinim. If you're talking about the Y DNA, that's Canaanite. That's the Canaanite lineage. Yeah, this is another. The D, this one here, the Y DNA, is the Canaanite lineage from the tribe of Sinim, descended from Sin, or the land of Sin. African Americans in the United States, Saudi Arabia, Syria, and Yemen. But the D, yeah. Well, that it would be in Saudi Arabia. Well, Saudi Arabia is the land of sin. That's the land of sin. Saudi Arabia, Syria, Yemen. That's the land. That's from the land of sin. Of course, there's going to be Sinite, which is it's a Canaanite tribe that went down into Saudi Arabia, into the so-called land of sin, and they went all the way to China in the land of Sinim. The land of Sinim, China. That's where you get the Sino China from the Canaanite tribe that went all the way to China, and there you have it. Like I said, it fits perfectly. DNA does not lie. It's the absolute truth, as much absolute truth as we can get in science. My father's Y DNA is I2 M223. But my mother, which is my grandmother's N9B, which is N1B, the fourth largest Ashkenaz Jewish Y DNA and Semitic bloodlines, which in his MtDNA, which is his MtDNA. Okay, the N, that's MtDNA, that is Semitic MtDNA. Anything past the N is Semitic. Anything between the M and the N is Asiatic in the mitochondrial DNA. So it's L, M, and N. When you get to the N, that is Semitic. It's a very confusing system they have, but once you understand it, it's not so complicated. Once you understand what it all means, then it's less complicated. Now, if this N9B, which looks like mitochondrial, that's that, which is N1B. Yeah, this N9B. This is mitochondrial DNA, which is Semitic mitochondrial DNA, which is interesting because I've heard of H and U and T. I'm an H myself. Mine's H, but an N, that is like, I guess that's the root Semitic mitochondrial lineage, or one of the main root mitochondrial lineages, which is very interesting. So my father is H9B. That's what I'm H3G. Mine is H3G mitochondria. My mother is D4N1. So yeah, the D is that's the lineage, or the main branch of the, or related to the lineage that went to America, that accompanied the Medes all the way to America, as we just saw. So this is getting very interesting, really. My father's MtDNA N9B, my mother's MtDNA D4N. Yeah, this N9B, that is Semitic. So your father's MtDNA is Semitic. Your mother's MtDNA is from one of the daughters of Japheth, which is Eurasian or East Asian. That's very interesting. So here, MtDNA D4. Why African American got D4? Well, African Americans got D4. I don't know. D4 again is the well, that's a lineage. That's Native American. It's in the Native American population. It's in the Judaic population because of the Silk Road and the Medes in the Mediterranean going to America. And the Medes, remember in the book of Esther, the Medes became Jews in the book of Esther. So that means that's the reason why the Jewish populations have the Q haplogroup, and probably that's the reason why they would have the D in their population as well, or could be either that or the trade between the, on the Silk Road between the Uyghurs and Israel. So that's good. Japan, Korea, USA, African American. Why African Americans got that? Yes. I don't know how much they got, but they got it from somewhere for sure. So why DNA? However, study identified haplogroup DO in 3 Nigerians defined by, well, if we go back here, we can see this right here. There's a D haplogroup right there in Africa. So there, there you have it. DNA doesn't lie. It surprises you every time, and it's always absolutely true. That's what's so impressive about DNA. It's always absolutely true. Right there, right there in front of us. It's so amazing. And what I did, I blocked myself again. Let me see what I did. No, I'm not blocked. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, I'm still blocking myself. And I always end up blocking myself. But there it is right there. You asked, how did African Americans get the D? There it is right there. Right there. Plain as day. It's so amazing. It is just so amazing. It's unreal. But it is real. It's absolutely real. And I'm discovering this just as fast as everyone else is discovering it. We're all here learning together this stuff. This is really, really amazing. That is so amazing. Got the Nigerians, the DO, A something or other, haplogroup outside of M174. Okay, well, I mean, there's still more investigation to do. Can't say that I understand it all or know it all, but as I'm learning, it's just so amazing. Why DNA DO question, but belongs to D lineage, shares 7 SNPs with the D. Of course, the Y DNA, the D is Sinite. The D lineage from the Y DNA is the Canaanite. It could be confusing as to why there's both a D mitochondrial and a D paternal Y chromosome, but they're both in the area. The Y chromosome is in the area, obviously, right here, right there, in Africa. I mean, the maternal lineage. This is the maternal lineage. But then if it's the DY chromosome, it's the Canaanite lineage that went all the way through Tibet, through Mongolia, all the way to Japan. So it's all there. It's all very interesting. And I think that's good enough for right now. There's a lot more for us to see. We've only covered, there we go, hold on a second. Blocking myself again. We've only covered the Q haplogroup lineages and the migrations of the Q haplogroup, the A mitochondrial maternal haplogroup, the C maternal haplogroup, and the D maternal haplogroup, all of which land in Central America. 4 of them. That's the Q, the A, the C, and the D. 4 lineages that land in Central America and make up the Native American population without considering the C paternal haplogroup that was already there. Now they got to come up with a different system so that it's not so confusing to talk about, because you got to remember every little difference in mitochondrial, maternal, paternal, and you got to keep it all straight. But got 4 lineages that prove the Medes landed in America and populated all of America with the exception of the C descendants from Nimrod. Now I want to watch. Maybe the next one I'm going to try to do is the migrations of the C paternal haplogroup, which I don't even know. I don't even remember if I saw it. Hold on a second. Let me try this again. Hold on. Let me look at this again real quick. Maybe. maybe, let's go to the Y chromosome. See what happens here. There we go, Y chromosome. Now let's go to the C. Let's put C in here. C. We have a C lineage, so let's look up the C lineage. This is the paternal lineage now that somehow got to America, but I don't know if they have it in America. I don't even think they have it in America, which is really weird because obviously there is a C in America. So we have to follow the lineages or the lineage of Nimrod, the son of Cush, into America, if that's possible. It doesn't look like it's very possible because we got one little speck of C in America here, and that's where the Waoranis, that's Ecuador, that's where the Waoranis were so savage they killed 5 missionaries, and then they had a homicide rate of 60-something percent, 62%. It dropped to 0 because of the work of the missionaries there. So let's see if they got, I don't even think, they don't even have it. They don't even have a connection into America. They don't even, the same thing with a B. They don't have the B lineage in America. And now they also don't have the C lineage in America. And we know the C is all through America. It's up in North America. It's down through South America, Central and South America, because the C lineage, the descendants of Nimrod, are the reason for the Olmec heads looking Polynesian, because they have the exact same ancestor as the Polynesians, which is Nimrod. In America, it's C3. In the Pacific, it's C2. It's a separate lineage, but they both have a common ancestor, Nimrod. That's why the Olmec statues look Polynesian and not African. And they're still there today. You can see this speck right here. See this speck? That's where the Waoranis, the Quechuas, and the Wayus tribes have the C paternal haplogroup from Nimrod. And of course, it's not the only place. It's all throughout here. If you look at the other map, you can see it's all through America. And of course, I'm from right here. This is where I'm from right here. Right there. I can pinpoint the exact place where I'm from right here. See that blue line? I'm from right here. Where, right? Well, on the north side. On the north side of the Amazon River, right there. Oh, Itacoatiara, Parintins. Manaus. That's where I'm from. That is exactly where I'm from, right there. Check this out. Look at this. How detailed is this map? I'm from this is an island in the middle. It's a huge island, as you can see, but I lived on the north side right here, right there, in a village called Purake. And you might know Purake as being an electric eel, which it's not. Purake is not an electric eel, because I'm from the village of Purake, which is right here. That's the lake right there. So I'm from the village of Purake right here. Uh-oh. It's blocking out. Anyways, long story short, it was misnamed. It was misnamed Puraquequara when it should have been Poraquiquara, which means around here is an electric eel. But this is a rabbit trail. Probably nobody knows what I'm talking about. But if you know anything about the electric eel, it's called Purake, but that's a misnomer, because the actual name of the eel is Quara, because there were the white people, the Americans were trying to name the place around here electric eel. So they named it Puraquequara, but it's supposed to have been Poraquiquara, which means around here Quara, so the electric eel is Quara, and not Porake. Porake is supposed to be Poraki, and Poraki means around here. So now you know the rest of the story. The whole world calls electric eel Porake, and it's a misnomer. The actual real name is supposed to be Quara. And not even the nationals, not even Brazilian nationals know this story, don't know this. But I'm from the place of the electric eel, and I was shocked by electric eel right there on the Amazon River. So now we know the rest of the story. So there it is. I got a huge audience, I can see. But anyways, God bless you. Everybody that watches to the end of this video is special. Almost as special as I am, you know. Which I'm being facetious or whatever. Okay. God bless everybody. Take care and stay. And this is so interesting. I mean, everybody must be working today or something or doing something. But this is so interesting. It's just unreal. I would have never thought that it was the Medes. I mean, I knew it was the Medes that came to America. I knew that. And I knew they brought the mitochondrial A with them. But I didn't know they also brought the mitochondrial C and D with them. And I didn't know they came by way of the coast of Africa to Central America. I didn't know that. But now I do. And now you do too, if you followed the whole video. God bless everybody. Take care. This is amazing, amazing stuff. I don't think even Dr. Nathaniel Jensen, I don't think he even knows this until he sees it, unless he sees it. I should maybe send this link to him. Maybe he'll be interested. But anyway, God bless everybody. Take care.